No, he's doing it deliberately. G'day folks, you're back again with the big fella. A little while ago, you may recall, I put up a bird feeder out in the backyard. I'll leave a link to it up here. It was a while back, and we had a bit of a test run with the birds, as you might be able to see. But what it's come down to is there's most of the birds that will actually sit on the feeder trays by themselves without any problems. There are some rather bothersome birds called little Corellas, and as you'll see in one of the clips I've got here, they kind of go to town on the chains and try to flip them upside down to get the feed out and put it on the ground. Now that's not something that I want to happen, and I've got to try to make a bit of a workaround to that. Now, a lot of head scratching and brainstorming. What we have is a swap from the conventional idea of having it actually hanging from chains. So we need something a little bit more stable, more rock solid. So these are the feeders as they sit right now. They're all still in good nick and you know, serve the birds pretty well. So I haven't been up there for very long. But what we've got to do is get rid of these. Now the solution to this, as far as I can work out, is this threaded rod, otherwise known as booker rod. So what it is galvanized stuff here, as you can see, if I can get it to focus. You've got 16mm thread width and 1.2 meters of rod, but to hang down as much as this was, it only needs to hang about 800mm. So we are going to get a little bit of wastage out of this, but they only sell them in this length or a 3-meter length, and 3-meter might have done for 3, but it actually worked out cheaper to get these. So what we're going to have is washers and nuts attached to the top part here on the top and the underside of the cross arm. So the cross arm is going to be here, it's going to be inset. So then it's going to work all the way down, probably cut off about there somewhere. And underneath the tray, washer and nut underneath, washer and nut on top, washer and nut up here, washer and nut there, and should be golden. And we shouldn't have any more trays being flipped over and bothersome Corellas making their presence felt in a bad way. They come by in families, so there's more than just a few of them. You've got to think long term here and go with a certain type of a solid solution. So this solution is probably the best one that I can think of. So the tray's just got a quick wash. They're not perfect, but they never will be, but they are a lot cleaner than they were. As far as measurements go, I've managed to work out maybe 850 is about the right size for the thread. The threaded rod I'm going to cut to about 850 conservatively and make some adjustments from there should I need them. So what I'm going to do now is get to work on the cutting of the holes through here, maybe patch them up with a bit of silicone, see how all that works. Alright guys, so this is the finished product for now. What I've done is to basically cut about 350mm off the end of one rod. All the rest of them are up here. So this is the one I used as the yardstick, no pun intended, and cut the same amount off, and they should be fairly well level. Now, I have a bit of fudge factor in that because when you go to install them, you have these washers and nuts to work its way up the bolt or the threaded rod. So what you do, if your measurements are a little bit out, then you say maybe make the nut go a little bit up, further up or down the rod until it gets right. So that's pretty much how flexible the solution is. They look all right now. They've had a fresh lick of black up the threaded rods. So we got on the drill bit here a fresh 16mm spade bit. I'll just try and focus that there. There we go. And 16mm or 5/8 of an inch. And yeah, what we're going to do with that is make some fresh holes in the cross arms, vertical holes. Get those in there. Get the remainder of the nuts and washers onto the threaded rod on the bird feeder, and we should be good to go. Yeah, that's about it for now. So tomorrow will be the day. Alright, so yeah, fairly productive night's work, and we'll see how it all pans out tomorrow when we get it all installed. So I'll catch up with you then. Okay, so it's the next day, and just going to get this done before it rains because it's looking rather threatening right now. So here we are. We have the new feeders in place, and we've already got our first customers. One little ballsy one up here doesn't want to move. Now he's going to find a place. You going to start barking at me? Come on. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. He's the squawker. Here we go. These are the new rods and the new feeders being put into place, and that's how they go through the arms. Now, bear in mind, they're not straight vertical. Okay, that is the first thing that really got me, because number one, the holes that we were using for pilot holes. Yes, sir. Can I help you? I want my feed. The holes we were using for pilot holes before, where the eyes were for the hooks for the chains, we used them as the guide holes for these larger 16mm holes. Now, they weren't directly straight, but also what happens is, if you can look along each of these arms, they've got a slight twist to them. Now, because of the rigid nature of these threaded rods, they're going in perpendicular, and they will form to you can see this one here, well that's about dead level there, and you can see straight inside the feeder. Now I'm sorry about the wind, I don't have my usual microphone on, but there's your feeders as they sit right now. We've got the same type of arrangement, so nylock nuts and washer there, and nylock nut and washer under there, if you can see it. So that is the situation with all these. So they've got to be retightened probably about once every, say, about 3 months, because the wood has a tendency to shrink as it gets older, so it rots and decays, so it shrinks in the process. So what we've got to do is retighten them to stop them from coming loose. So that's it. That's how it all works. Alright, so here is the threaded rod arrangement. Now I'll put up a bit of a graphic of what I mean about the chains actually coming down, how the difference in the length is between the threaded rod and the chains. So what it is, with the chains, we had about maybe 800mm from where the hook eye was, where it actually went through the cross arm, to allow the hook to come through and splay the chains out. Now that was about 800mm, and that was sufficient. Now this goes all the way through the arm up here, and it requires an extra length, so we've made about 850mm instead. So it's kind of level with the rest of them, doesn't matter which which crossarm you put them on. So the whole point of this was to make a more solid state type of arrangement and to adjust some flexibility. Hello. You guys have got no fear of me at all, do you? You think I'm going to give you more feed? That's right. You silly birds. You don't get any more feed until the weekend. Sorry. The Corellas had it all on you. Oh, so there you have it, folks. That is another one done and dusted, and let's hope we get some happy birds out of it. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you around the flip side. This is the big fella. Have a good one.